There is a level of power in life that no one can take from you. It is a power that is not dependent on wealth, status, or recognition. It is a power that is rooted in mastery. Mastery over yourself, your mind, your emotions, and your energy. Once you achieve this mastery, no external force can touch you. They cannot manipulate you. They cannot control you. They cannot shake you. This is not arrogance. This is truth, and it is available to anyone who is willing to invest in themselves, who is willing to train their mind, and who is willing to cultivate discipline, awareness, and inner strength. 6 months of intentional practice can transform an ordinary person into someone untouchable, someone whose presence, energy, and focus make them invincible in the face of chaos, opposition, or negativity. The first pillar of this untouchable power is awareness. Awareness is the ability to observe reality without distortion, to perceive truth beneath appearances, and to understand the forces at work around you. Most people live in a fog of distraction, emotion, and opinion. They react impulsively, fall into patterns, and allow themselves to be controlled by external circumstances. Those who master themselves cultivate awareness. They see what is happening, understand the intentions of others, and recognize the dynamics at play. 6 months of consistent awareness training allows you to perceive threats before they arise, opportunities before they are visible, and truths that remain hidden to the distracted mind. When you operate from this level of awareness, you become untouchable because you are always prepared, always conscious, and always aligned with reality. The second pillar is emotional mastery. People are vulnerable because they allow emotions to control them. Anger, fear, frustration, and desire create reactions that can be exploited by others. The master understands that emotions are tools, not rulers. By observing, understanding, and controlling your emotional responses, you remove the leverage that others may have over you. Emotional mastery transforms vulnerability into strength. 6 months of disciplined emotional practice, acknowledging feelings without being consumed by them, responding deliberately rather than reacting impulsively, ensures that you remain unshakable regardless of external pressures. Once this mastery is achieved, no one can provoke, manipulate, or destabilize you. The third pillar is energy management. Your energy is your most valuable resource. When others drain it through conflict, distraction, or drama, you become weak, reactive, and vulnerable. Mastery over energy allows you to conserve, protect, and direct it purposefully. The untouchable person prioritizes what truly matters, ignores what does not, and eliminates sources of unnecessary stress or negativity. 6 months of consistent energy management, through mindfulness, focus, and deliberate boundaries, creates a shield of invulnerability, allowing you to operate at peak efficiency while remaining untouched by the chaos around you. The fourth pillar is detachment. Detachment is not indifference or coldness, it is clarity. It is the ability to separate yourself from outcomes, opinions, and expectations that do not serve you. Most people suffer because they are attached to approval, recognition, or validation. The master knows that power is internal, not external. By detaching from the need to control or please others, you reclaim your freedom. 6 months of practicing detachment strengthens resilience, reduces vulnerability, and ensures that the actions, judgments, or criticisms of others cannot affect your peace, purpose, or presence. The fifth pillar is clarity of purpose. The untouchable are guided by vision, not distraction. They understand why they exist, what they value, and where they are going. This clarity allows them to ignore noise, stay focused on priorities, and align every action with their ultimate objectives. Those without clarity can be swayed, distracted, or undermined. 6 months of deliberate practice in defining, refining, and committing to your purpose ensures that your energy is focused, your actions deliberate, and your path unstoppable. When purpose guides you, no external circumstance can touch your trajectory. The sixth pillar is strategic thinking. Those who are untouchable understand cause and effect. They anticipate reactions, understand motives, and position themselves to act with precision. Strategic thinking ensures that every decision is intentional, every move calculated, and every response deliberate. Impulse, chaos, and ignorance make people vulnerable. 6 months of cultivating strategy through observation, planning, and reflection turns life into a series of deliberate, unstoppable actions, creating a sphere around you that no one can penetrate. The seventh pillar is resilience. Life is full of opposition, challenge, and unforeseen events. People without resilience crumble when faced with adversity. The untouchable person develops mental, emotional, and spiritual resilience through disciplined practice. They accept difficulty as part of the journey, learn from setbacks, and emerge stronger with every challenge. 6 months of resilience training ensures that challenges no longer destabilize you. Instead, they become fuel, strengthening your power and reinforcing your untouchable state. The eighth pillar is patience. Impulsive reactions expose vulnerability. Patience allows the master to wait, observe, and act at the right time. By mastering patience, you control timing, avoid unnecessary mistakes, and ensure that your influence is maximized. 6 months of deliberate practice in patience strengthens strategic decision-making, enhances clarity, and ensures that your power is executed precisely when it matters most. Patience turns calculated restraint into a shield against chaos, criticism, or manipulation. The ninth pillar is inner peace. Untouchable power comes from a calm, centered, and aligned mind. When the mind is chaotic, scattered, or reactive, it can be influenced, controlled, or attacked. Inner peace allows clarity, discernment, and resilience to emerge. 6 months of cultivating meditation, reflection, and mindful silence creates a foundation of calm authority that no external force can disrupt. When inner peace becomes your default state, external events may occur, but they cannot touch your essence. The 10th pillar is mastery over influence. The untouchable person does not rely on others for validation or recognition. Their influence comes from the clarity of their presence, the weight of their action, and the precision of their strategy. They do not seek to dominate. They create results through alignment, consistency, and intentionality. 6 months of consistent practice in these principles ensures that influence becomes a natural extension of your mastery, leaving you untouchable in both action and reputation. They cannot touch you when you master these principles because your power is internal, deliberate, and disciplined. Awareness shields you from manipulation. Emotional mastery ensures that no one can provoke you. Energy management protects your vitality. Detachment frees you from dependency. Clarity of purpose aligns every action. Strategic thinking anticipates opposition. Resilience strengthens your response. Patience guides your timing. Inner peace shields your essence. Mastery over influence ensures that your authority is felt without being threatened. Commit to mastering yourself. Train your mind, body, and spirit. Observe, reflect, act deliberately, and refine your focus. 6 months of dedicated practice in these 10 pillars transforms ordinary presence into an untouchable state. Others may try to provoke, distract, or influence you, but they will fail. Their attempts will bounce off the shield of discipline, clarity, and mastery you have cultivated. Remember, real power is not visible. It does not shout, brag, or seek recognition. Real power is rooted in self-mastery, consistency, and strategic action. Once you cultivate this power, you operate from a place that no external force can penetrate. You become untouchable, not because of arrogance, not because of aggression, but because your life is aligned, your mind is disciplined, and your energy is impenetrable. Begin today. Observe, master your emotions, protect your energy, detach from outcomes, clarify your purpose, plan strategically. Cultivate resilience, patience, and inner peace. 6 months of this practice will create a version of yourself that is untouchable, unshakable, and unstoppable. They cannot touch you when you master this. To be untouchable in life is the ultimate form of freedom. Most people live their lives at the mercy of external forces, opinions, circumstances, other people's expectations, and the chaos of the world around them. They react, they argue, they fight, and yet they remain vulnerable. But those who master themselves reach a state where they cannot be touched. Their power is internal, unwavering, and invisible. It is a power that comes from deliberate practice, from control over the mind, the emotions, and the energy. When you master this, no one can shake your peace, derail your focus, or manipulate your decisions. They cannot touch the essence of who you are. The first element of this untouchable state is the mastery of thought. The mind is the battlefield where most vulnerabilities arise. People are ruled by negative thinking, fear, comparison, and ego-driven reactions. The master understands that thoughts shape reality. By observing the mind, controlling the flow of thoughts, and rejecting those that are destructive or irrelevant, you create a mind that is strong, resilient, and untouchable. 6 months of disciplined thought mastery through meditation, reflection, journaling, and mental focus develops clarity, decisiveness, and inner fortitude that cannot be influenced by the chaos around you. When your mind is disciplined, no external opinion, criticism, or circumstance can disturb your calm. The second element is mastery over emotion. Emotions can be both powerful and dangerous. When uncontrolled, they make you reactive, vulnerable, and predictable. Anger, fear, jealousy, or insecurity provide a doorway for others to influence or destabilize you. The untouchable person observes emotions, understands their origin, and responds deliberately rather than reacting impulsively. Emotional mastery turns what could be a weakness into a source of power. 6 months of emotional training, through reflection, mindfulness, and conscious responses, allows you to experience emotion without being enslaved by it. Once you achieve this mastery, external attempts to provoke or manipulate you become ineffective. They cannot touch your emotional core. The third element is energy preservation. Every individual has a finite amount of mental, emotional, and physical energy. Most people squander it on meaningless arguments, distractions, conflicts, and attempts to please others. Those who master themselves protect and conserve their energy. They invest it where it matters, on growth, focus, and intentional action. 6 months of deliberate energy management, setting boundaries, prioritizing tasks, and eliminating unnecessary drains, creates a shield that others cannot penetrate. When you manage your energy with discipline, the negativity, drama, or pressure of the outside world cannot touch your vitality. The fourth element is the power of detachment. Most vulnerability comes from attachment. Attachment to approval, recognition, outcomes, or validation. Detachment does not mean indifference. It means understanding that your power comes from within, not from external validation. The untouchable person detaches from the opinions and expectations of others while maintaining clarity of purpose. 6 months of practicing detachment strengthens resilience, reduces vulnerability, and ensures that external forces, criticism, rejection, or pressure cannot affect your mental or emotional equilibrium. The fifth element is clarity of purpose. When you know why you exist, what your goals are, and what you value, external forces lose their ability to disturb you. Purpose provides direction, focus, and meaning. It allows you to ignore distractions, resist manipulation, and stay committed to what truly matters. 6 months of refining and committing to your purpose ensures that your actions are aligned with your vision. When your life is guided by clarity of purpose, no one can touch your trajectory or divert your path. The sixth element is strategic awareness. Life is full of forces that seek to undermine, distract, or deceive. The untouchable person observes, understands, and anticipates. They recognize patterns, motives, and dynamics that others miss. They act not impulsively, but deliberately, with foresight and calculation. 6 months of consistent practice in strategic awareness allows you to predict outcomes, navigate challenges, and respond in ways that others cannot influence. They cannot touch you because you are always prepared, always aware, and always in control of your actions. The seventh element is resilience. Life will inevitably bring challenges, setbacks, and opposition. Those without resilience crumble under pressure. The master turns adversity into growth, using difficulty as a tool for strengthening mind, body, and spirit. 6 months of cultivating resilience through mindful reflection, facing fears, and learning from failure ensures that external events no longer destabilize you. They cannot touch you because challenges become stepping stones rather than obstacles. The eighth element is patience. Many vulnerabilities arise from haste, impulsiveness, or desire for instant gratification. The untouchable person understands the power of waiting, observing, and acting at the optimal moment. Patience ensures that energy is invested wisely, reactions are measured, and influence is maximized. 6 months of consistent practice in patience creates a timing and precision in action that makes interference by others ineffective. The ninth element is inner peace. Untouchable power arises from a calm, centered, and aligned mind. External chaos, criticism, or opposition cannot penetrate inner peace. A silent, disciplined mind becomes a fortress, immune to manipulation or disruption. 6 months of meditation, reflection, and mindful practice creates an inner state that is unassailable. When inner peace is your foundation, they cannot touch you, because nothing external can disturb your essence. The 10th element is mastery of influence. The untouchable person does not rely on force, volume, or aggression. Their influence is rooted in presence, integrity, and the weight of deliberate action. They do not need to explain themselves or seek approval. Others feel their authority, respect their boundaries, and respond to their clarity. 6 months of cultivating influence through mastery over thought, emotion, energy, and presence ensures that your authority is untouchable, resilient, and undeniable. They cannot touch you when you master this, because mastery turns vulnerability into strength. Awareness removes ignorance. Emotional control removes manipulation. Energy discipline shields your vitality. Detachment eliminates dependence on external validation. Clarity of purpose aligns your life. Strategic insight anticipates opposition. Resilience transforms adversity into growth. Patience ensures timing. Inner peace safeguards your essence. Influence asserts authority without aggression. Together, these pillars create a state where external forces have no leverage over you. Begin today. Observe your mind, train your emotions, protect your energy. Detach from unnecessary attachments, refine your purpose, practice strategic awareness, cultivate resilience, patience, and inner peace. 6 months of consistent commitment to these principles will make you untouchable. Others may attempt to provoke, distract, or manipulate you, but their efforts will fail. You will operate from a place of calm, control, and unstoppable power. Remember, untouchable power is not performative. It is cultivated. It is invisible to those who measure life by noise, aggression, or external displays. It is deep, deliberate, and internal. 6 months of mastery will transform your mind, emotions, energy, and influence into a state where no one can touch your essence. They cannot shake your focus. They cannot destabilize your peace. They cannot manipulate your decisions. You become untouchable, not because of external circumstance, but because of mastery cultivated within. Power that cannot be touched begins within. Most people search for safety, influence, or respect outside of themselves. They rely on validation from others, rules from the world, or approval from circumstances that are beyond their control. This is why they are vulnerable. They can be shaken, manipulated, and destabilized. But when you master yourself, you operate from a space that is untouchable, unshakable, and unstoppable. No one can influence your mind, dictate your actions, or control your emotions. 6 months of deliberate practice in self-mastery transforms you into someone whose presence, energy, and focus cannot be compromised, regardless of what happens outside. The first key to becoming untouchable is mastery of attention. Attention is the gateway to power. What you focus on shapes your perception, your energy, and your reality. Most people scatter their attention on distractions, gossip, external chaos, and the concerns of others. They allow their focus to be hijacked by noise, opinions, and meaningless conflict. Those who are untouchable guard their attention fiercely. They focus on their purpose, their growth, and their priorities. 6 months of intentional practice in focusing attention sharpens mental clarity, builds resilience against distraction, and ensures that no external factor can control where your mind goes. When your attention is masterfully directed, they cannot touch your thoughts or your vision. The second key is mastery of self-talk. The mind is constantly narrating, judging, and reacting. For most people, this internal dialogue is chaotic, negative, or reactive. They allow doubt, fear, and criticism, both from themselves and others, to dominate. The untouchable person cultivates mastery over self-talk. They speak to themselves with authority, clarity, and intention. They reinforce their purpose, their strength, and their control. 6 months of consistent work in mastering self-talk transforms your internal world, creating a mind that no external criticism, manipulation, or pressure can shake. They cannot touch you because your internal dialogue empowers you rather than enslaves you. The third key is mastery over reactions. Vulnerability arises when you react impulsively to stimuli, anger, insult, temptation, or fear. Most people are trapped in a cycle of reaction, which makes them predictable, manipulable, and unstable. The untouchable individual observes before responding. They assess, understand, and decide. This deliberate response, cultivated through 6 months of practice, ensures that external attempts to provoke or destabilize fail. They cannot touch you because your reactions are under your control, and control is power. The fourth key is energy sovereignty. Your energy is sacred. Most people allow it to be drained by drama, distractions, or the intentions of others. The untouchable person protects their energy, invests it wisely, and avoids wasting it on situations that do not serve their purpose. Energy sovereignty allows you to operate at full capacity while remaining unaffected by the chaos around you. 6 months of disciplined energy management ensures that your vitality is untouchable, creating a shield against negativity and manipulation. The fifth key is detachment from outcomes. Most people are vulnerable because they are attached to approval, results, or recognition. When outcomes are uncertain, they suffer. The untouchable person detaches from outcomes, understanding that mastery over self and process is the true source of power. By focusing on effort, intention, and alignment rather than external validation, you create freedom from influence. 6 months of practicing detachment ensures that external judgments, failures, or unexpected changes cannot touch your peace, your focus, or your trajectory. The sixth key is clarity of principles. Untouchable people live by their principles. They know what is right, what is important, and what aligns with their purpose. Principles are anchors. They provide stability in chaos. 6 months of defining, understanding, and living by your principles ensures that no external pressure, manipulation, or temptation can pull you from your path. They cannot touch you because your foundation is rooted in unwavering clarity. The seventh key is resilience under pressure. Life will test, challenge, and oppose you. Most are shaken by criticism, failure, or opposition. The untouchable person turns challenges into growth. Each difficulty is an opportunity to refine focus, strengthen resolve, and practice composure. 6 months of resilience training, through reflection, problem solving, and endurance, builds an unshakable foundation. They cannot touch you because challenges only make you stronger. The eighth key is patience in action. Impulsiveness creates vulnerability. The untouchable person waits for the right time, understands the environment, and strikes with precision. 6 months of cultivating patience ensures that your actions are deliberate, strategic, and maximally effective. When you act with calculated timing, external forces cannot interfere with your impact or influence. The ninth key is inner peace. This is the core of being untouchable. Chaos cannot disturb someone whose mind and spirit are centered. Inner peace allows clarity, judgment, and strength to flourish. 6 months of daily practice in meditation, reflection, and mindfulness creates a state of calm authority. They cannot touch you because inner peace cannot be infiltrated by noise, conflict, or distraction. The 10th key is mastery over influence. Untouchable people do not rely on external validation. Their influence comes from integrity, consistency, and deliberate action. They do not need to convince or dominate. They are recognized naturally. 6 months of practicing deliberate influence ensures that your presence, decisions, and actions are untouchable in authority and effect. Others may try to sway, provoke, or disrupt, but your mastery makes it impossible. When you master these 10 keys, attention, self-talk, reaction, energy, detachment, principles, resilience, patience, inner peace, and influence, you reach a state where no one can touch you. External chaos, opposition, or criticism has no leverage. You operate from a position of absolute control over your mind, emotions, and actions. You are untouchable because your power is internal, disciplined, and deliberate. Commit today. Observe your thoughts, control your reactions, protect your energy, align with your principles, build resilience, patience, and inner calm. 6 months of disciplined practice transforms vulnerability into strength, chaos into clarity, and reaction into intentional action. They cannot touch you when you master this, because mastery is a fortress built from awareness, discipline, and inner strength. The untouchable are not arrogant. They do not need to prove themselves. They move through life with quiet authority, clarity of purpose, and absolute composure. Master this, and the world cannot shake you, influence you, or touch your essence. 6 months of focus, practice, and disciplined mastery will make this untouchable state your reality. To reach a state where no one can touch you, you must first understand the nature of vulnerability. Most people live in constant exposure to external forces, opinions, expectations, criticism, and unpredictable events. They allow these forces to dictate their mood, their decisions, and even their sense of self-worth. This is why they are vulnerable. The untouchable person, however, has mastered themselves. They are impervious to manipulation, immune to distraction, and unaffected by chaos. Their power is cultivated through intentional practice over time, creating a presence that is both invisible and unassailable. 6 months of disciplined focus can turn anyone into this untouchable state, provided they commit fully to mastering the mind, emotions, energy, and actions. The first foundation of untouchable power is awareness. Awareness is not merely noticing events around you. It is understanding the underlying dynamics of people, situations, and circumstances. While most are swept away by noise, drama, or impulse, the untouchable observe. They discern motives, intentions, and patterns that others overlook. 6 months of cultivating deep awareness allows you to anticipate challenges, recognize opportunities, and respond with precision rather than reaction. When you are aware, you cannot be deceived, manipulated, or destabilized. They cannot touch you because you see clearly and act intentionally. The second foundation is mastery over thought. The mind is where vulnerability begins. Negative thinking, doubt, and self-criticism are gateways for manipulation. The untouchable person trains their mind to focus, analyze, and process information without distortion. They replace fear and uncertainty with clarity and purpose. 6 months of consistent practice in managing your thoughts through meditation, reflection, and conscious self-dialogue creates a mental fortress that no one can breach. They cannot touch you because your mind is disciplined, focused, and sovereign. The third foundation is emotional intelligence. Emotions are powerful, but uncontrolled emotions are a source of vulnerability. The untouchable person does not suppress emotions. They understand, process, and channel them strategically. Anger, fear, or frustration are observed, not acted upon impulsively. 6 months of cultivating emotional intelligence ensures that your responses are deliberate and effective. When you master your emotions, external attempts to provoke or destabilize you fail. They cannot touch you because your emotional state is your own, unaffected by others' actions or words. The fourth foundation is energy management. Energy is finite. Those who waste it on meaningless arguments, drama, or distractions are easily influenced. The untouchable person protects their energy, directing it to priorities that serve growth, purpose, and progress. 6 months of disciplined energy management through mindful focus, intentional action, and elimination of unnecessary drains creates a protective shield that preserves vitality and focus. They cannot touch you because your energy is sacred, controlled, and optimized. The fifth foundation is detachment. Most people allow themselves to be swayed by outcomes, approval, or the opinions of others. The untouchable person detaches from dependence on external validation. They recognize that true power comes from mastery within, not from the approval or recognition of others. 6 months of practicing detachment builds freedom, resilience, and clarity. They cannot touch you because your sense of worth, direction, and purpose is internal and independent of external forces. The sixth foundation is clarity of purpose. Knowing why you exist, what you value, and where you are going creates an unshakable foundation. Those without clarity are easily swayed, distracted, or destabilized. 6 months of defining and committing to your purpose allows you to filter distractions, remain focused, and act decisively. They cannot touch you because your actions and decisions are guided by your internal compass, unaffected by noise or chaos. The seventh foundation is strategic action. The untouchable person observes before acting, evaluates before responding, and waits for the optimal moment. Impulsive decisions create vulnerability. Deliberate action creates invincibility. 6 months of practicing strategic, intentional action ensures that your moves are precise, impactful, and untouchable. They cannot touch you because your actions are calculated, effective, and aligned with insight rather than impulse. The eighth foundation is patience. The untouchable understand the power of waiting. They do not react hastily, pursue immediate gratification, or respond to provocation. 6 months of cultivating patience strengthens timing, judgment, and effectiveness. When action is guided by patience, no external circumstance can disrupt your focus or leverage influence over you. They cannot touch you because your timing and response are deliberate and controlled. The ninth foundation is resilience. Life is filled with challenges, setbacks, and opposition. Most people crumble under pressure. The untouchable person uses adversity as a tool for growth. Each challenge strengthens focus, patience, and adaptability. 6 months of resilience training ensures that no circumstance can destabilize you. They cannot touch you because challenges only strengthen your foundation and sharpen your ability to respond. The 10th foundation is inner peace. The untouchable person cultivates a calm, centered mind. Inner peace allows clarity, focus, and stability to flourish. Meditation, reflection, and mindful living for 6 months creates a state of equilibrium that cannot be disturbed by chaos, criticism, or opposition. They cannot touch you because your inner world is untouchable, serene, and inviolable. By mastering these 10 foundations, awareness, thought, emotion, energy, detachment, purpose, strategy, patience, resilience, and inner peace, you become untouchable. External forces may attempt to influence, provoke, or destabilize you, but their efforts fail. Your power is internal, deliberate, and sovereign. You operate from a position of control over yourself, your actions, and your perception. 6 months of disciplined commitment to these principles transforms vulnerability into invincibility. They cannot touch you when you master this because you are grounded, focused, and aligned with your highest purpose. Awareness shields you from manipulation. Mastery of thought secures your mind. Emotional intelligence stabilizes your reactions. Energy management protects your vitality. Detachment frees you from dependence. Clarity of purpose guides your life. Strategic action maximizes impact. Patience ensures optimal timing. Resilience turns challenges into strength. Inner peace safeguards your essence. Together, these pillars create a state that is untouchable, unshakable, and unstoppable. Begin today. Observe, train, and strengthen your mind. Master your emotions. Protect and focus your energy. Detach from outcomes and external validation. Clarify your purpose. Act strategically, patiently, and deliberately. Cultivate resilience and inner peace. 6 months of this practice will make you untouchable. No criticism, chaos, or opposition can disturb your presence, focus, or essence. They cannot touch you when you master this, because mastery creates a fortress within that no external force can penetrate.